We've talked about Republican plans for healthcare reform in previous episodes, but as new ones are introduced, we should add those to the list. And so we shall. Senators Cassidy and Collins have a compromise plan for the ACA. That's the topic of this week's Healthcare Triage. You can go read their one-pager or the many articles published on the plan, but here are the Healthcare Triage highlights. First, the revenue generators are left in place. This means that all the taxes, fees, etc. that were created by the ACA will remain. Annual and lifetime limits stay too. This means that insurance can't run out over any 1 year or even a lifetime. Family plans still have to allow kids up to 26 years of age. This is mostly a private insurance thing, but it's popular. Then come the big changes. States can choose one of 3 or really 4 options. Number 1, keep running the ACA as it is. No real changes. You keep the Medicaid expansion, the exchanges, the subsidies, the mandate, all of it. No changes for you. Number 2, bail on the ACA entirely. Everything I said for number 1 goes away. You go back to the world before the ACA started. Number 3, take the same amount of federal money you'd have gotten for the Medicaid expansion and subsidies and instead give it directly to your people, who will be automatically enrolled in a high-deductible catastrophic plan. The money they get is based on age, not income though. This is like saying you can keep the money, if you're a state, but design your own new system. Number 4 or 3A, depending upon how you look at it. Leave the Medicaid expansion in place and instead just scrap the exchange market and redesign it with the money you get, like in number 3. Anyway, let's talk about the pros and cons here. First, what might progressives think about this? Pros, if you like the ACA, you can keep it. I imagine most blue states will choose to leave it intact. They'd certainly keep the Medicaid expansion, which is like almost all federally paid for, and the exchanges too. Cons. Many states will bail on the ACA, and progressives won't like that. It's likely that states choosing option 3 or 4 will create new systems with fewer benefits. Poor people will be hit hardest, as subsidies are not tied to income. A rich 60-year-old gets the same subsidy as a poor 60-year-old, regardless of whether they need the help. Meanwhile, a poor young adult will get relatively little in subsidies. Also, there's a 5% cut in all subsidies throughout the proposal, which is likely there to make the cost of the plan look good to the CBO, but for whatever reason, progressives won't like reducing subsidies for those at the lower end of the socioeconomic spectrum or even the middle class. But say you're a conservative. How might you feel about this? Pros, states get to choose what they want to do. Most conservatives favor local control of services over federal. Many also seem to favor subsidies being tied to age, not income. The plan is more defined contribution than defined benefit. With options 3 and 4, the federal government isn't on the hook for a percentage of whatever healthcare costs. They get to give states a sum of money, and then it's up to states to make the numbers work. Some conservatives also like that this plan might get some bonus points for being a compromise. Finally, there's also that 5% cut across the board in subsidies, which will make the budgets look better. Cons. It leaves much of the ACA intact, which will enrage vocal proponents of repealing Obamacare. Moreover, it leaves in place those taxes and fees, which will enrage them even more. And while it does let some states form an entirely new plan for healthcare reform, it does leave the feds on the hook for a lot of money. And let's face it, some will not allow this to be considered repealing the ACA, which a lot, and I mean a lot, of Republicans claim they were going to do. Let's be honest though. At the moment, there's no reason for Democrats to support this. It'll tick off a lot of conservatives. It runs counter to President Trump's executive orders. I see no support in leadership, and there's still no CBO score or details on this yet. In the halcyon days before we started down the road of the ACA, I might have viewed this like the old Wyden-Bennett plan compromise. But in today's climate, I don't see how this gets much support from either side at the moment. Time will tell. Healthcare Triage is supported in part by viewers like you through Patreon.com. A service that allows you to support the show through a monthly donation. Your support makes this show bigger and better. We'd especially like to thank our research associates Joe Sevitz and Jonathan Dunn, and of course our Surgeon Admiral Sam. Thanks Joe, Jonathan, and Sam. More information can be found at patreon.com/healthcaretriage.